Today we're going to talk about monitor charts in OneOps. We're going to learn how to visually analyze and inspect our components' behavior with those charts and really get the most out of this very nice and powerful feature. We will use aspects such as viewing multiple metrics, selecting which ones we want to view, also displaying the thresholds associated potentially to these. We'll zoom in and out of those charts to really inspect a specific section we are interested in to determine a behavior problem or so. We will navigate in time, going back what happened yesterday, a week ago, and so on. And we will also see that we can have multiple charts and you even can have a standalone view. So there's lots to explore. So let's go and play. As you know, most components in the various platform implementations come with monitors configured out of the box, and if you want to customize them, you can go in the transition phase in the specific component and tweak it there, or you can even create custom monitors in the design phase so that they will then be used across the various usages in your environments. The interesting part about the monitors, however, is where it happens in operation, where they are collecting data and where you can inspect them. So in this instance here, I have a specific environment in which in a specific platform, I'm looking at a specific compute instance, and you can see here on the monitors, there's a number of monitors, and I've selected a CPU monitor, and here's my chart. Looking at our list of monitors here, we can see that there is one heartbeat monitor here with the little heart symbol, the load monitor, and there's a bunch of monitors like CPU, cron D, disk, and also load as well as memory that have thresholds defined. Looking at a specific chart like the load chart here at the moment, you can see that we have the chart itself, and when we hover over it, we can see the exact measurements that are being taken, displayed. We can see the number of different metrics that are being gathered, and we can like toggle them all. But remember, when you have them all, then the x-axis is still time, but the y-axis might be overloaded. So sometimes it's useful to just select one of them, like you can see here. And then we have the different time frames here: hour, 6 hour, day, week, month, and year. And we have our navigation. So we can see here I can go 6 hours and it adjusts. I can go down to the last week, last day, or the last week. And this will allow me to see patterns very nicely. And of course, it goes back as far as you actually have data saved and however long this specific component has been actually running. Looking at a different chart here, we can navigate through this time period here by, for example, having a week selected and using this forward button. We jump a week forward here from the 2nd to the 9th and then to the 16th. We can jump back again. We can also jump half periods or just jump to now, which this happens to be. Even more interesting, however, is that you can zoom into a specific period where you want to find out what was going on, and this applies to the X as well as the Y axis. So if I want to just see what's happening here on Monday and in only the specific date and time range also, as well as the Y axis range here between about 450 and 650 mil, we can just zoom out in. And if I've see and found what I was looking for and I want to get back out, I can just double click and I'm back out in the original range that I was investigating. The existence of thresholds is visible on the individual monitors here by this icon, beside, for example, the heartbeat symbol on load, or also here on disk, and on the individual metric for a specific monitor by this blue dot. The line itself then uses the same as the actual signal, the same color, so green here for the load 5, and the actual signal is down here. So you can see that there's no real problem of getting even close to the threshold. And if you want to see what the threshold is, you can go down here into the configuration and see and inspect the configuration in detail to understand if it gets close, or maybe you need to reconfigure the threshold or whatever else. In this case, you can see there's no danger whatsoever to get close to the threshold. Another useful feature to just concentrate on a specific chart is to view this chart in isolation from all the others. And you can use this pop-up icon here, which will render the same chart outside of your rest of the UI, and you can then use all the same interactions with the chart as you did before, but it's separate from the application. You can potentially even embed that link or bookmark it and use it separate from the rest of the application. Just keep in mind that you still have to be logged in to be able to get access to that. In the analysis of these charts, you end up finding that only one metric is not enough to sort out what was going on or what caused the problem. And luckily, you can do your investigation to cross multiple charts. So you can, for example, investigate here CPU, disk, load, and memory, and then combine these charts or stack those charts. If you combine them, they all show up in one chart, and you can select the different metrics and check them out in separation. Or if you go and stack the charts, you have one navigation and other interaction there, but all the charts are on top of each other. So if you select a specific time range here, it will be reflected in all of them, and you can really see where, for example, this load occurred, what happened with the other criteria.